Is your calendar packed, your to-do list longer than a page, and yet your soul feels flat? Do you still feel unhappy and unfulfilled at the end of the day? Does that look like success? I don't think so. Have we confused success with being busy all the time because we are afraid of ourselves in silence? Today we are talking about fulfillment, what it looks like now, not what 25-year-old us thought it would look like back then. And don't worry, I'm bringing science to back this up because this isn't just a pep talk. This is research approved life redesign. We kept scorecard to evaluate our fulfillment for decades in our 20s and our 30s. In our 20s, success was the job title, the salary, maybe the ring, maybe the zip code. In our 30s, it was climbing the ladder while juggling bills, parents, and babies. But in our 40s, we are waking up and realizing those old checklists don't fit anymore. Psychologists Edward Deci and Richard Ryan nailed this decades ago. Humans need three things to thrive: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. Translation for us, midlife women: autonomy means I get to decide how my day goes. Not my boss, not my parents, not my kids. Competence means I'm still good at something, whether that's leading a team, running a household, or mastering Pilates reformer. Relatedness means I need real, non-superficial connections. Friends who just don't like my posts online, but actually show up when I'm falling apart. Let's dig into all these three things and see how they actually look like in our daily lives. They translate into our relationships. The longest running study of adult development at Harvard, 80 plus years, shows that warm relationships are the number one predictor of happiness and health. Ladies, it's not kale, green juice, or Botox. It is meaningful connections. That girlfriend that you went to, the partner who listens to you, or the sister who still answers your midnight calls. That is the longevity medicine. And then it's about time affluence. Research proves feeling short on time is worse for our well-being than being short on money. At 40-something, this hits hard. We have spent decades overcommitting, saying yes, being everything to everyone. But fulfillment means buying back our hours. Whether that's paying the teenager down the street to mow the lawn, or just finally saying no, I can't chair that committee. Protect our time like it is SPF 50. And then we are getting that experiences beat stuff. Studies out of Cornell show experiences make us happier than things. And you know what? At this stage, we all already have some stuff, closets full of stuff. What we crave now are moments. That girl trip, the dance class, that weekend away, where you actually laughed until your stomach hurt. That's what stays. And we want purpose. Here's the science kicker. People with a sense of purpose live longer. Yep, purpose is basically midlife's anti-aging serum. And purpose doesn't have to be changing the whole world. It can be mentoring a younger woman at work, raising kind kids, or finally writing that book. We are understanding that attention equals joy. A Harvard study published in Science found that When our minds wander, we are less happy, even if we are wandering to something pleasant. Think about how often we multitask. Cooking dinner, while answering emails, while listening to a podcast. No wonder fulfillment feels out of reach. Joy lives in presence. Put down the phone. Look our teenager in the eye. Actually taste our coffee. That is the good stuff. And we are getting to understand gratitude works. Studies show writing down 3 good things every night boosts happiness and lowers depression. Midlife can feel overwhelming. The signs of aging, parents, hormonal changes, divorces, career pivots. With all that, training our brains to notice small wins is powerful. Gratitude is free and available daily. So, let's make all these conversations and research into more practical way for our life. Let's start with number 1, the fulfillment audit. You know how every magazine headline about wellness seems to be about getting toned arms, glowing skin, or some new superfood? Cute, but let's be real. By midlife, fulfillment is not about abs or accolades anymore. It's about building a life that actually feels like ours. So I want to introduce you to this fulfillment audit. It's really based on Martin Seligman's PERMA model of well-being. Don't worry, it's not complicated. PERMA just stands for P, positive emotions. The joy, gratitude, or those little sparks of happiness. E, engagement. When you are into something, you lose track of time and you just enjoy it. R, relationships. The people who have our back and make life richer. M, meaning. That sense that our life connects to something bigger. A, accomplishment. Setting goals, following through, and feeling proud of it. Think of these as our 5 vital signs for fulfillment. Here's how you do the audit. I have prepared a file. If you want, download it or just grab a piece of paper. Score yourself from 1 to 10 for each of these categories, but only based on the last week, not your whole life story, not last year, just past week. Here's the trick. Look at the numbers and see which one is the lowest. That's where you start. If it's relationship, that the score is a 3, because you have been stuck in survival mode, you don't need to reinvent your social life. Just call that friend. Book that coffee date you have been meaning to for so long. Send that text that you have been avoiding to check in. If the engagement is low because you are drowning in chores, try carving out 20 minutes for something you actually enjoy. We don't need massive overhauls. What we need are consistent, tiny moves in the right direction. Because fulfillment doesn't happen all at once. It happens in the daily nudges that slowly shifts our life closer to what feels right for us. So, what's your lowest score right now? And what is the one little thing you could do this week to pump it up by just 1 point? That is your challenge, your personal fulfillment audit. Second practical step, buy back an hour of your week. Look at your schedule. What is draining you? Can you delegate it, delete it, or delay it? That hour you buy back, that's your joy time. It could be your workout, your reading time, or your nap. Yes, naps count. Number 3, experience swap. Next time you're about to impulse buy something you definitely don't need on Amazon, pause. Ask yourself, could this money buy me a memory instead? Dinner out with your partner, friends, ticket to see that band you loved in 90s, a pottery class, a painting class. Choose the experience. It sticks. Number 4, purpose post-it. Write down one sentence about why you get up every morning. Doesn't have to be profound. Maybe it's to raise daughters who believe in themselves, or to bring calm where others bring chaos, technically our world. Stick it to your mirror. Let purpose stare you in the face while you put on your mascara every morning. Number 5, breathe presence. When our brain races, work, deadline, family, stop. 3 deep breaths. Reset. Science says this matters. Presence is midlife's most underrated luxury. And last one, good things. Every night before you collapse into bed, jot 3 things down that went well that day. Not big things, small ones. That text you got from your bestie, your dog, your kids actually saying thank you. Do it for a week and watch your brain recalibrate to joy. These were 6 small practical things that you can change the fulfillment feeling in your life. Which one did you like? Which one are you willing to try? Here's the truth. Fulfillment in our 40s doesn't look like what it did in our 20s and 30s. It's not about louder, richer, busier. It is about truer. It's about relationships that nourish, time you actually own, experiences that light you up, purpose that grounds you, presence that anchors you, and gratitude that keeps you steady. So the next time you catch yourself chasing the old-fashioned definition of success, ask yourself, am I filling my calendar or am I filling my heart? I hope you all do the first practice, the fulfillment audit. Because when a lot of women in midlife do the fulfillment audit, one of the lowest scores often shows up in relationship. We don't talk about it much, but loneliness sneaks in through moves, motherhood shifts, divorces, or just a slow drift of friendships that no longer fit. In our next episode, we are going to dive into the loneliness we don't talk about. How we make and lose relationships and friendships. Why we crave depth more than ever. And what it looks like to rebuild connection in this season of life. See you all next episode.